Hi, and welcome back to the Wicked Thrifter Resell channel. This is our first item today that we picked up. It was only $4.99. I probably could have left that behind, but I thought it was cute nonetheless. I haven't seen a flattened cat doorstop like that before, so I thought I'd give it a shot. This was a more mass-produced piece. I thought it might have been a studio pottery piece, but I ended up leaving that behind. These were some cute bunnies. We've had some glitches with our video software that we use to make our videos, so that's why this is a little delayed getting out to you. Hopefully the quality will be just as good. We'll see how this video goes, and if it works out, we are good to go. You can see here on the shelves, they're quite sparse this time. Not a ton on the shelves. Those goblets are still there. This I thought might have been a good pickup, but unfortunately there are quite a few listed and they don't have a high sell-through rate. I mean, they do sell, but they're approximately around $20. I was really hesitating because I really liked this piece. This was a mass-produced piece. I chose to leave that behind. That cat up at the top was quite interesting. I should have looked into that a little bit more. Here, I thought this might have been like an Ars Prussia piece, but it was not. I am on the hunt for more of those just because I found that whole stack with that one video, and they've done fairly well for me. So I am keeping my eyes open to see if I can find more of them. That nativity set's still there. I thought these might have been glass, but they ended up being plastic, and they're just like little lanterns or plant holders, so I ended up leaving those. Another one of these more mass-produced pieces. It has a heavier quality. It's not the same. Once you have the Ars Prussia feel, you can kind of get an idea when you lift them up and see, plus the markings. They definitely have a lot of signs if you're interested in signs in the wood section at Goodwill. That art glass piece was nothing special. Here are a few more paperweights. It's a crystal paperweight by Jane Seymour, St. Catherine's Court. The retail price was not terrible, so I was kind of interested in them, especially since there was two and in the box. But they wanted $14.99 for these, so I chose to leave those behind. I liked this box, but there's a chip on the top. It looked like a slate glass and a milk glass top. I haven't seen that before myself. I wasn't quite sure what was in this box. I was giving it a good look over to see if I could figure it out, but it might have been like a corkscrew. I'm not sure. Not a ton. They look like they had a sugar bowl there, some other candle holders, knickknacks, and some fake fruit. I'm trying to do a better job of checking out the bottom shelf there. On the top here, they had a bottle, but it was missing the lid. I didn't really give you a good look. A few more pieces, a sun and moon wall hanging. Some of those can do fairly well as well, but I chose to leave that behind. This was an art glass flower. It was not Murano. It may have been made in Italy, and some of them can do decent, but I chose to leave it behind. For me, they're a longer tail item. This bowl intrigued me, but it had an applied base, which was like glued on, so I left that. Not a ton. Some wall sconce or candle holders. Some chicken figurines there. Those are kind of cute. Again, more wine racks and some other metal pieces. A little creepy baby doll. Some of those can do decent. Some dolls can do fairly well, but I chose to not look into that. Maybe I should look into those more. Here was a nice ceramic mask, like wall hanging. I do fairly well with some of these as well. I chose to leave that behind, but I did grab this, a Jim Shore ceramic tray. I haven't come across this before. I've seen like Santa's in the past, but this one I thought I'd give a shot. It's not going to sell for a ton of money. Jim Shore can be more of like a bread and butter. They don't really make a lot of money, so make sure you buy it in at a cheaper price. At this location, it's another store. I'm checking this section, the glassware, because I found a couple of glassy babies at this store. Fingers crossed that I'll find a few more. Here I'm just checking the clear glass section, see if I see anything extra sparkly. I spotted this Fenton amber hobnail candle holder. But I chose to leave that behind. I have quite a few in my store already that haven't sold, and the prices dropped considerably on them. Just checking out the canister section. And this is becoming one of my favorite sections, the wood section, where they have like baskets and shelving. A lot of times I'll find the hand carved like Swedish or German or Italian figurines in this section, and they sell fairly well for me. If they're signed especially. Those bent wood or rattan magazine racks can do fairly well as well, but that one had a lot of damage. I'm just checking out the baskets. Sometimes you can find a decent one. Now, I don't know if this is a pine needle or a sweetgrass basket. I grabbed them initially. They can do really well, especially the intricate ones that have different colors. Like people like to hang them on their walls. This one had some damage though, so I ended up putting that back at the end of the little trip here. Always a great place to find gift baskets if you want to build one. Sometimes the prices can be pretty high on these baskets, but once in a while you find a really nice one. Some more signs. Here I'm just checking to see if I can find any jewelry boxes or trinket boxes. That looked like a little kid's like coat or wall hook set. Some carved wood cordial set. Now this I grab anytime I find these inlaid wood game boards, and this one wasn't priced fairly high. It was very high. It was at $4.99. And they did have game pieces inside. Unfortunately, I haven't looked it up to see, but sometimes they have handmade game pieces, and those sets do really well for me. I think these were made in Turkey. A couple of little dolls. I ended up putting those back on the shelf. Lots and lots of wall plates, collector's plates. Some more wall plaques. Just checking to see if I see anything that stands out. Up here, I noticed a couple of glass pieces. I wasn't quite sure what that was made of, so I put that back. Then I saw this art glass ashtray, definitely vintage. I do end up putting this back on the shelf though, just because I have quite a few glass pieces. They tend to sit around, especially ashtrays. It has to be something super special. And I should have looked into that a little bit more, but I ended up putting it back. Depending on how busy the store is, I will, take the time to look something up. Sometimes I go by instinct, and that I had a feel that would sit for a while. This store had a little bit more on the shelf. I noticed this vintage ashtray. It's like a lucite or resin with abalone, but it was missing the actual ashtray insert, so I left that behind. I do grab this art pottery or studio pottery basket. It had a really nice glaze on it. It was only $6.99, so I thought I'd give it a shot. Pottery can tend to be a long tail item, but generally I do fairly well, even though it sits for a little bit. And I really liked this piece, so I decided to give it a shot. Some ceramic piggy banks. Not a ton that I am interested in. Trying to step back and look at the bottom shelves to see if I see anything, because sometimes they'll tuck some really nice stuff down there. Up here they have an Italian pottery, little bud vase or vase. Some eggs. Now if those were in a baggie with a few different ones in it, I would have grabbed it, but they wanted $2.99 a piece, so I left those behind. A little bell. And this jar didn't have its lid. It was like a milk glass with the blue transfer. Ended up leaving that behind. Some of these bone china animal figurines can do well, especially the dogs. I hadn't seen the horses like that before, but the legs were broken on them, so I ended up leaving those behind. And some tiles there. Back here I spotted a little Tanala goose or duck. I am getting more selective on those as well. I didn't pick this up. I ended up putting it back. You know, I'll go through the store and put things in my cart, and then I'll do like a final edit at the end just to see if it's something that makes the cut. I have been picking up some lower end items that sell for less than what I try to get $5 into $25 for my minimum. And this was a studio pottery piece. I thought this might have been something amazing. I wasn't quite sure though. The signature on the bottom gave me more of like a student piece, so I ended up putting that back. It was still quite nice. Not a ton in the vase section. This area has been kind of sparse at this store for a while. Not much in the clear. I spotted these on the shelf when I was walking by. They're Fiesta ware, and it's like a smoky black color, not a total black, but I thought I'd give it a shot. Unfortunately, when I got home, I noticed that underneath the sugar lid there was some damage, so I am selling it with that disclosed. They only wanted $3.99 a piece, which I thought was reasonable considering sometimes they price these pieces up at the Goodwill. But it's probably something in hindsight I could have left behind as well. There, I was just checking out the top of that. But I do grab these. They're like cuckoo clock weights. Those are nice replacement pieces. People are generally looking for some of those. And these were a nice weighted quality to them. And they were metal, so I grabbed them. I thought these cat tiles were pretty cute. But unfortunately, they don't sell for a ton individually. And they wanted $3.99 a piece. And at that price, I couldn't get them. Leave them for somebody who really would like them. Here's another one of those bowls, but we're actually back at that same store. This is a couple of days worth of trips. It's a ceramic like wastebasket or planter. And that is a huge either cut glass or pressed glass platter, but there was no way. They wanted, I think, 24 something for it, but there's no way I would have shipped that. And these cats were interesting, but they were like a filled weighted material, so I left those behind. Lots and lots of bells and angels. There's always an abundance of bells and angels at most Goodwills that I go to. Now this I normally wouldn't pick up. I try to steer clear of clear glass figurines, but this had a really cute quality or nice quality to it, and it was pretty cute. I figured worst case, my family loves fish, and this is something that they could keep if worst case scenario. Doesn't sell for a ton. And then I spotted this, definitely art glass bowl piece with some copper or gold fleck in there. I think it's copper fleck. Not quite sure. I believe it is Murano freeform ashtray. Not exactly sure the maker on that, but I scooped that up at $6.99. I always grab these when I come across them. They're like little guest services or hotel bells or front desk bells. If I had a store, I would definitely have that on my desk. Nice sunflower pattern on there. Again, they don't sell for a ton, but they always sell pretty fast for me. A little trinket box, a loon. Thought this was an interesting little watering can. It could be a planter, could be a vase, it could be a few different things. And coasters, shakers, some spoons. Not a ton that I am interested in. More collector plates down here. I'll look in this section too, because sometimes they'll tuck fused glass pieces in here, like Peggy Carr. Someone painted over a glass piece there. This is kind of their spring or curated section. I was happy to see that most of that pottery had been picked up and sold. I don't have to look at that anymore when I go and feel regrets. I thought this might have been glass, but it was actually plastic, so I ended up leaving that. I do scoop this up. It's like a Hawaiian sea turtle trinket box. It wasn't signed. I thought it might have been Raku pottery, but it was not. It won't sell for a ton, but it's still cute. And then I spotted this floor vase. I mean, you could use this for a lot of things, but I really liked it. It had a nice quality to it. It was signed. It was larger than I normally find, and they only wanted $10.99. Generally, for something like this, they would price it way up. There, I was trying to give you a shot of the signature, but I couldn't see it. And then let me know if you think this is actually a giraffe, because that's what I think it is. Not 100% certain, but I think it'll be a nice return on that once it does sell. There, I was putting some stuff back. Then checking out the vase section. Still, again, not a lot here. I thought this might have been a blown glass piece, but it was more of a mass-produced piece, so I ended up leaving that behind. Still not a ton. Here's another milk glass piece, but again, I'm being more selective about the milk glass that I pick up. These were quite interesting. I've never seen this before, and it's actually like a shrimp cocktail glass. They had two of them, but I end up leaving those. And these were a double wall glass mug. Here was some nice little added pickups. This is another store that I am at. I found this green glass water bottle, a vintage piece. They can do fairly well. I haven't listed it just yet because I do some cleaning on it, but they can sell for about $30. These don't sell for a ton of money, but I do grab them. I'm finding them less and less, and people really do like to decorate with these in the wintertime. Even the clear ones, they'll do decent, but they don't sell for a ton. And then I found this as well. It's a safety pin art piece. I haven't seen it in a tree form before. I find the baskets quite often. I thought I'd give this a shot. Here, I'm just trying to move out of the way. There was a few people coming by. Now, I mentioned before that I don't pick up a lot of milk glass, but this was kind of different. I haven't seen this, and this is like a moon and stars pattern. It's a little different than I'm normally finding it, but they only wanted $4.99, and I thought I'd take a shot. It was really nice, and I thought I would keep it if it doesn't sell. Here we're in the metal section. I thought this was nice, but it wasn't the quality I used to find. If you can find these, especially in the heavier metal and the vintage ones, they can sell for a decent amount of money. Now we're in the vase section at this store. Not a ton. And that's going to wrap it up for us today. Thanks for taking the time and putting up with me and getting these videos out. Hopefully it'll be more regular going forward as long as I can figure out the audio on this. If you have any questions, just drop them down below. Otherwise, thanks for taking the time to watch. Please like or subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great week.